few months ago, I started drinking coffee, and I decided I hadn't drank coffee for a long time, or I actually hadn't drank it at all. Thanks for that. And what I found is that there was so many different types of coffees out there. So I had a little challenge because it was new to me and I didn't really know much about coffee. What I decided to do was to visit all my local coffee shops. One, because I wanted to educate myself on coffee. And two, sometimes we're not even, there's a nice bit of chocolate on top of it. Sometimes we don't even go to visit the places that we live in because we're so accustomed to doing the same thing over and over again. And what happened was I went to a number of different places. One of those places had the most amazing pastries that I'd ever had, but the coffee was okay. And many of the places I went into, the coffee was okay and the service was ordinary. But then I went to one place that made amazing coffee, but on top of that, asked me for my name. They asked me, oh, what's your name? I said, oh, my name's Scott. Now, with that question, I found myself wanting to come back to this cafe again and again and again. The coffee was good. It was probably the best, which was important. But because they delivered great customer service and they used me and recognised me when I came in, now when I come in, they go, oh, hi Scott, how are you going? Yes, I come in more often than you might have in a practice. But the important thing is that by just asking the name, had a big impact. And now I come here and get my coffee all the time. The interesting part about coming in here, and we're talking about a small commodity like coffee, it adds up. So your cost per user, I might only be spending $3 to $4 per coffee, but if I'm coming in 3 to 4 times a week, over 50 weeks of the year, it adds up to a lot. What are you doing? What can you do in your practice that can set you apart so that when someone comes in, you're using their name, you're using the pet's name, you're looking up on your system. As I've said earlier, we know someone's coming in at 4 o'clock, they've got a Jack Russell and they're coming in for a vaccination. And you know the colouring of the Jack Russell. And if they're coming in and you know that that's Holly that's coming in at that particular time, this must be Holly. Are you Holly's mum? A lot of people like that. Now you need to pick the right person and the right message, but what can you do to make that moment special? Someone was telling a story the other day which had me laughing and saying, imagine if you could pretend to be the dog and the dog's at home going, oh yeah, guess what? We went up to the practice today and they said my name a couple of times and they patted me, but they even said mum's name and like, oh man, it was so cool. And they had that little swagger in them. And I was laughing, I was thinking that would be really good. And I'm sure that the owners, they know when they feel good and the animals coming in there, if they feel respected. These guys have done the Paws principle on me. They've recognised me, they've communicated with me with coffee, and when I come in each time, they've educated me, on the different types of bits and pieces of what they have, and the results have just been turning over and over. And I've been bringing other people here as well. So it's really important that you find something, that just one little thing, just try something different. And it might be at the end of this, you're going, okay, there's one thing I'm going to start doing, there's something I'm going to stop doing, and there's something I'm going to continue doing. So some of you are already doing this, and it's reminding you of how good a job you're doing. And some of you are just not quite there, and this will help you. And some of you are not doing it quite right, and you need to stop doing it. So this will be fantastic to help you take it to the next step.